Hi everyone, it's Andrew from RC, and this is just a quick little update video to show you where I'm at with my MC8. So we're at the point really where the interior is done. So what's changed since the last update? Well, we've got the two characters are in and holding hands. How lovely. Or he's kidnapping her. Still haven't decided which. He's got a full seatbelt on, crossover, and on the waist. She's just got a little one on the waist, being the passenger, and I'd lost interest by then. Had a few fit issues here when I finally sort of secured the dash in as I thought I might have, as per Terry's experiences. So the dash isn't quite straight. If you look along the back line there, we can maybe just tell there's a little bit of a gap at this end. The whole thing's just a little bit slightly off square, but it won't matter. I've test fitted it in the cab. It doesn't really matter. The problem really is his foot is pushing quite hard on there. I've cut a bit off the front. But I don't want to do too much because he's already bolted in. So once I bolted him in, he kind of sat a bit differently. No matter how much you plan, when you finally start screwing things in, it often gets a little bit, modified. So I've continued on with the accessorizing, just putting a few odds and ends on, just trying to make the thing look a little bit lived in. Last night I put a towel over the seat there. It's just a tissue with some wood glue on. Check out my recent vid making a tarpaulin on the same basis. This is just done the same way. There's not a lot of wood glue on it, so it's a little bit soft because that seat there is for this, which is my little action camera, a little cheapie off eBay. It's probably a lot of rubbish, but what I'm going to do is mount it in some packing foam, which I think these came from the axles, I can't remember. But it's just a kind of stiff foam, and the idea is I'm going to cut this down so it wedges in there. Okay, it'll wedge in there and the camera will sit on it or in it. I'll cut a little hole out for the camera. So that sits in there snug, and then the whole thing just, I can through the passenger door, push this in and get a nice view through the dashboard. You know, it's got quite a little wide view on it, so it'll be at this kind of angle, so you can see through the windscreen and across the cab. That's the plan anyway. So this is kind of done now. I'm not going to be doing any more with this. The cab shell is also done, so the interior is as it was, but I've put all the exterior fittings on. I snapped a bolt, that bolt down there, it snapped because the nut wasn't quite formed in the hinge, so the bolt snapped, and I'm waiting on replacements, hence the body clip. Improvising. That mirror is a complete swine to fit. The black plastic doesn't seem to be very responsive to glue. I've put the top rail on, I've masked the hole out so the grey doesn't go in there. This engine cover, which is really sweet, this opens and closes like so, so that's all good. I haven't put the side brace on, that's over here, mounted on a bit of double-sided sticky tape, ready for painting. I don't want the brace up on there because when I spray, I think I'll get too much paint on the brace and not enough on the back there. Yeah, the windows are glued in, but glued in with hot glue. So you can just see I've put this one back in. It came out last night, so I've just popped it back in. So there's dabs of hot glue on it. Just this outer frame here is going to be black. so I'm not too fussed about getting glue on it while I spray the grey. I'm going to be hand painting that likely as not. It's a black window seal, rubber window seal. So I've just put the glass in. It's got its masking on that it comes without the box, so it protects the interior. That's the only job it's doing right now. When the grey's finished and I'm done with that, I'll pop the windows back out, take the film off and glue them in properly. Although I'm putting this in for spraying, it's not going to be permanently fixed in because I've got to spray the underneath, which I've also added the front chin bit. So this has all got to be painted grey as well. So this is going to go together, get sprayed, and come apart again. The side windows, the side doors, yes, they're much the same, but I've only put the first skin on. I've only put the outer skin on the doors. The inner doors are there still. Again, really just to seal the cab. Yeah, so that's got the same protective film on. It comes out of the box with, and again they've been hot glued in from the inside this time, so they'll get popped out, film taken off. I'll paint this aluminium, this frame, because that's a kind of bare metal frame. It's a sliding window, you know, in reality. So put the glass out, take the film off, put the glass back in permanently, and then put the inside of the door on once it's all painted. So that's where I am. I just rubbed this down with toothpaste last night. There's still bits of it left. I need to just go over it now. Now it's dried, and I can see it. So there's still some deposit left on it. And then it'll be time for primer. Okay, the toothpaste just cuts the plastic slightly. You can't really see in the video, but it just takes a little bit of the shine off. Just prepares the surface really. But that's where I am. I've mounted, as I say, that. I have also mounted the headlight guards, which are metal, black metal. So these would normally be sitting, would be screwed under the floor already. But once you do that, once you've got them screwed underneath, upside down, like that, then it's going to be impossible to paint them properly. You can't get the can in, you'll just drown them in paint. So screw them into some Lexan and get the camera to see it. And yeah, so I'll just paint those up separately. That's about it. That's about it. As you can tell, it's been a busy time. Desk's a bit of a mess. Yeah, these weren't too bad. All these things weren't too bad. A little bit of a faff on. I think I'm not happy with these mirrors because it appears that there's quite a lot of tension in this metal hoop, and it's kind of bending. You can maybe tell if we can just get the camera to see it. You can see that plastic hinge is distorting a little bit because of the tension in the metal. They're all four of them are the same. I see that one's cracked. Yeah, that one's cracked. So before I paint, I'm going to have to do something about that. That one's cracked as well. I see now. Okay. I think that one's cracked all the way through. Yeah, you can't tell, but it has. See it there? Yeah. So, not terribly brilliant. Yeah, I mean, I've already, you know, these are already bent slightly, but look at they're just mounted too close together. They should be further apart, but there's pre-molded holes for them. You just go along with what's there, but they're going to split and fall off, aren't they? Wicked. So this is a new part to the kit. The mirrors were done a different way, I think, on the previous version, so they haven't quite nailed that properly. I would say the brackets, these are too big, or these are too close together. One of the two. Anyway, there you go. There's always something, isn't there? So I won't be painting tonight. I'll be fixing the mirror brackets somehow. Alrighty, more later. So there's the lights on, my two orange running lights, headlights. and the tail lights at the back, you can see now, put some power forwards and they come on, slow down, they go off, which I quite like, high beam, low beam sort of thing. The tail lights obviously unaffected by forward motion, but as soon as you hit reverse they brighten up. Unfortunately so do the indicators, because they're on the reverse channel as well, you know, instead of flashing left and right. So I've only got one thing connected into the light box. I've only got channel 2 connected to the light box. You can see in there there's only one servo lead going in. Yeah, that's what they do when you stand still for a little while.